Today the lecture for our discussion is exponential Fourier series. First we will write the Fourier series expansion, then we will discuss different points related to complex exponential Fourier series. The formula for exponential Fourier series is x of t is equal to summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity cn e raised power jn omega naught of t, where Cn is equal to complex exponential Fourier series coefficient and C of n is equal to 1 over t naught fundamental time period integration t naught x of t e raised power minus j n omega naught of t. It is called equation number 1. Now we can convert complex Fourier series to trigonometric Fourier series and vice versa. So there must be a relation between coefficients of trigonometric Fourier series, which are an and bn, and coefficient of complex exponential Fourier series. This point take us to the polar Fourier series, because polar Fourier series is a combination of trigonometric Fourier series, which we will discuss in next article. Now we will move to another point, which is actually the property of Cn. That is when we apply a reversal operation by replacing n by minus n, which is equal to C of minus n is equal to 1 over t naught integration t naught x of t e raised power plus jn omega naught of t. In actual equation, e raised power minus jn omega naught t, by replacing n by minus t we will get plus. Actually see, these are the basic, we can say basic 2 points. With the help of we can find Cn. Next step is conjugate operation, in which we simply reverse the sign of imaginary part. C of minus n star indicates conjugate 1 over t naught integration x of t conjugate e raised power minus j. Simply by simple reverse the imaginary part sign. So in above portion reversal we have taken plus, and after conjugate it is minus j n omega naught of t. If C of n is conjugate symmetry, it means C of n is equal to minus C of n, or we can say it is a even signal. Comparing both sides of equation 1 and 2, we will find that x of t is equal to conjugate x of t, which are even. So it is clear that after conjugate both sides are same, so the given signal is a real signal. As C of n is coefficient of complex exponential Fourier series and Cn consists of real and imaginary part, let C of n is equal to magnitude and angle. By time reversal, replacing n by minus n, after taking conjugate, we have seen that C of n magnitude is equal to C of minus n magnitude. We will solve equation example, so that we can clearly understand the complex exponential Fourier series. The question is, find C of n for signal x of t. Signal x of t is given, which is a symmetrical signal. From figure it is very clear that it is symmetrical about x-axis, and its fundamental time period starts from minus t naught by 2 to t naught by 2, clearly indicating minus t by 2 to t naught by 2. We know complex Fourier series is x of t is equal to summation minus infinity to infinity C of n e raised power j n omega naught of t. Also C of n is equal to 1 over t naught integration t naught x of t e raised power minus j n omega naught t dt. It is equation number 2. First we will find the range of integration. From diagram it is clear that cycle starts from minus t naught by 2 and end at t naught by 2. So C of n is equal to 1 by t naught integration t naught over 2 complete cycle and ends at t by 2 x of t e raised power j minus j n omega naught of t dt. Now we will break the integration in three parts. Three parts means minus t naught by 2 to t naught t by minus t by 2 and t by 2 to t by 2 and then t by 2 to t naught by 2. After breaking the integration, we have Cn is equal to 1 over t naught integration t naught minus t naught over 2 to minus t by 2, which is 0 along x-axis, e raised power minus j omega naught plus integration minus t by 2 to t by 2 a naught, because magnitude is a naught. From diagram it is clear that magnitude is a naught. So further limit is t by 2 to t naught by 2, which is also 0. So the remaining question is this: a naught is a magnitude which is constant, so take it to the outside. A naught over t naught minus t over 2 to t over 2 e raised power minus j n omega naught of t. Let put before moving further, we will discuss the change. Let minus j n omega naught of t is equal to theta. Now to get very small value of theta, we should have very small value of t naught, because j n omega naught is constant, only t is changing. So minus j n omega naught dt is equal to d theta, where dt and d theta clearly indicates a very small value of time and angle. So from here we can get dt is equal to minus 1 over j n omega naught d theta. Also t is equal to time is small, so put t is equal to tau. In our case t is equal to minus tau by 2. Minus tau by 2, so theta is equal to j n omega naught tau by 2, and t is equal to tau by 2 is equal to theta is equal to minus j n omega naught tau by 2. Okay. After considering d theta and dt, we have a naught over t naught minus j n omega naught tau by 2, and after substituting the all values, we will get this equation. After integration, we know that exponential e raised power x integration is equal to e raised power x, which is applied here to upper limit minus lower limit, upper limit minus lower limit. We know by Euler's formula e raised power iota mean imaginary, e raised power iota x is equal to cos x plus iota sin x. By putting it in above equation, we will get, we have e raised power minus jx and e raised power plus jx. So by solving the formula, putting, we will get this result. We also know that cos minus x is equal to positive cos x, and sin minus x is equal to minus sin x. After opening the brackets, we will get this result, and putting the value of x, we will value this. Now we will make equation number 2 as sampling function. We know sampling function SA indicates sampling function of t is equal to sin t over t. In our case, t is equal to n omega naught tau by 2. So multiply and divide equation number 2 by n omega naught tau by 2 on right hand side. This right hand side. This omega naught is cancelled by this omega naught, j is cancelled by j, and 2 is cancelled by 2. So the remaining portion will be the answer of this question. Now we will move to another important Fourier series, which is called polar Fourier series. We know that for trigonometric and exponential Fourier series to exist, the given periodic signal should be or must be symmetrical about x-axis and y-axis. We know that this point says that for a given periodic signal, the trigonometric and exponential Fourier series will exist if and only if when the signal will be symmetrical about its x-axis and y-axis. If another case, if the given signal is periodic but it is not symmetrical about its x-axis, then we will use polar Fourier series. If signal is non-symmetrical, then we will transform the trigonometric Fourier series into polar form. For example, if we have a signal which is periodic signal but not a symmetrical signal, then we will use polar series. Polar Fourier series is given as g of t. For example, g of t is equal to d naught plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity dn cos n omega naught of t plus theta t, where a naught is equal to d naught, an is equal to dn cos theta n, bn is equal to minus tn sin theta n. From these three lines, it is clear that there is a relationship between trigonometric Fourier series and a polar Fourier series, or we can say that we can transform the given trigonometric series into a polar Fourier series, where a naught, an, and bn are trigonometric Fourier series coefficients, and d naught, dn are polar Fourier series coefficient. From this magnitude spectrum, dn is equal to an square plus bn square under root, and phase spectrum is equal to theta n tan inverse minus bn over an, or we can also write as minus tan inverse bn over an. Simply we have taken the minus sign to the outside. Okay, today is the enough for the lecture.